begin with our top stories. With the heavy rains hitting the town of Douala, Cameroon these days,
it is common to find
expressing frustrations over increase in transport fare. The drivers on their part complain of the bad state of the roads that worsen when it rains heavily. And Cameroonians have questioned the huge sums of money allocated for the purchase of a vehicle and the construction of the residence of the President of Economic and Social Council. Many are battled why billions should be spent on key authorities while Cameroonians continue to live in difficulties imposed by lack of basic needs. And markets in Cameroon's economic city Douala are filthy and nauseating, with road paths covered with water beside the muddy and filthy roads are garbage heaps just everywhere. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. With heavy rains hitting the town of Douala, Cameroon these days, passengers have begun expressing frustrations over increase in transport fare. The drivers on their part complain of bad state of the roads that worsen when it rains heavily, and these, they say, increase the quantity of fuel of the...
It is common to find taxi drivers and commercial bike riders increase the fare to 300 CFA francs and even more, knowing the passengers are desperate to arrive their destinations on time. This frustrates most passengers.
La saison pluvieuse n'est pas facile.
The rainy season is not easy, but it is not normal that bike riders increase transport fare when it rains. A distance which normally costs just 100 francs CFA, it is not normal. Others are compassionate. Transporters take opportunity of the rains to increase transport fare because roads are bad when it rains. I don't have a choice. All we do is negotiate. It's difficult, plus the taxes they pay. The drivers we talked to this June 29 in Douala, Cameroon, did not find rain as a provocative factor to hikes in transport fare, but rather cited rise in fuel prices and bad roads. There are about 4 reasons why drivers increase transport fare. 1, rise in fuel prices. Secondly, bad roads. And thirdly, we need to increase our daily revenue cope. Lot of time waiting. When this happens, other passengers are obliged to pay same. This happens only when there is traffic. And after it rains, the floods provoke traffic. Passengers then propose higher fares. Passengers who lack the means to pay the additional fare are therefore obliged to spend hours on same position, sometimes under the drizzling rain, until they meet drivers who accept their transport fare.
Markets in Cameroon's economic city Douala are filthy and nauseating, with road paths completely covered with water beside the muddy and filthy nature of the markets are garbage heaps just anywhere. Traders sell close to these heaps of dirt, carrying less of the consequences. The situation has gotten worse during this rainy season. More in the following story. This is how dirty, filthy and nauseating the Douala Central Market looks like as the rains continue to beat on the city. With completely muddy paths, the dilapidated roads further aggravate the situation, coupled with filled-up dishes. Besides, piles of dirt selling on or beside garbage heaps is seen or is fast being accepted as normal. Traders say they are getting used to inhaling the stench.
We need to take care of ourselves. We have to take some few drugs at least to be in good health.
We don't have choice now.
Despite the filthy and nasty environment, coupled with dirty rainwater that flows through the market, traders still take the risk to exhibit goods on the ground. They told me they got no choice.
We don't have choice. We have to eat. And that is the problem. Because our stomach, we need to do with the dating.
It is a similar situation faced by traders of the fruit and vegetable markets, Sanaga markets. Here it's just difficult to move in the markets. The muddy, slippery and nasty part is a general problem in the market. At the vegetable section, we met this heap of dirt. No one could tell for how long this garbage has been here. The traders attest the market is hardly clear of garbage. They say they pay 100 francs daily for the market to be clean. But those in charge are not doing their job.
To pay individual for 500 sometimes. Each person give 500 so that they can help us to remove the market. So then, let me say, people who are in charge.
The rainy season, according to traders, has only come to worsen the filthy nature of markets. They want government through councils to act so markets are given a more cleaner look.
2 young men supposedly involved in the murder of a motorbike rider last June 19 at the Soa district in the outskirts of the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, are presently in gendarmerie custody. The two also bike riders were caught at the Manguier neighborhood in Yaoundé the day after the act. More with our reporter, Aisencha.
The assassination took place at around 10 p.m. June 19, 2023 at Mbansam area, Soa district. Alerted same night through a phone call, the gendarmes went to the area and using the bike rider's telephone, they were able to reach his close ones and families. Together, they transported the remains to the mortuary. Investigation was then instructed by the Info Gendarmerie Company commander.
After we have information that those guys, we are making a small operation, control the zone to arrest them.
Their partner in crime, the number 3 person, was on the run, but further inquiry located him in Douala. Through concerted investigation, the forces of law and order were able to also arrest him. He is presently at the 6th Police District in Douala. These two supposed murderers at the Soa Gendarmerie Brigade, like their friend in detention in Douala, all refuse involvement, claiming ignorance. The gendarmes here are waiting for investigations in Douala to finish to answer for their crime.
The residents of the president of the Economic and Social Council, many are baffled why billions should be spent on key authorities while Cameroonians continue to live in difficulties imposed by lack of basic needs. Details of those reactions in this report by reporter Aisencha.
Tongues have been waxing ever since the correspondence was made public, approving the construction of the residence of the President of the Economic and Social Council to the tune of 2 billion CFA francs at the second phase, and a personal car of 120 million francs CFA.
It gives me ghost pimple when I read all of those fabulous figures at this time of economic downturn. I begin to ask myself, where are we heading to? For a residence at that fabulous sum of money, almost 2,000 million. That's more than a budget for a ministry.
Though the residence is the property of the state, many have described the action as misplaced of priorities, especially at a time the economy is drowning and Cameroonians languishing in abject poverty.
We cannot live in the country with the economic downturn, and then we don't know how to manage the few economic resources. A few weeks ago, we saw the medical personnel. They were on the streets for more than 2 weeks. Nobody cared about them. When you look at the teachers, some of them are still licking their wounds. Why do we misdirect the funds and use them for things which are not necessary?
What are the basic needs of Cameroonians? What is the standard of living of an ordinary Cameroonians? The roads are extremely bad. We have a type of water in Cameroon that it has devoured the 3 basic principles of quality drinking water, and when it is a problem that affects the entire nation, and then we're having an epileptic type of powers supply in Cameroon, and we are talking about such magnificent structures. Is it for show up, or is it actually to satisfy the intention for which it was meant to be? I don't think so.
These, among many of such flamboyant projects, political analysts suggest should seriously be reviewed to avoid plunging the nation into debts, which is already heavily indebted.
We keep contracting debts to the extent that people are telling us that we haven't attained that high rate of debt we're supposed to have contracted. Must we contract debts and know that our debt consummation rate is too high to the extent that our children will have to be paying back all the debts people are contracting today.
A cry for the lawmakers to always consider the plight of the common man when enacting laws in Parliament.
And Cameroonians have expressed the wish to see changes at the level of distribution of energy in the country, for the supply of electricity the general manager, the supply of electricity and proper communication. Gladys Ambodibang has been talking to some dwellers. The dwellers have story.
The persistent power outage in Cameroon is a real cause of concern as it greatly impacts on households and the economy at large. Cameroonians are hoping to see changes with the appointment of a new general manager of the electricity distribution company.
Je ne suis vraiment pas au courant.
We Cameroonians are tired. We need results. We need uninterrupted energy supply. We need the company to communicate always and properly when there should be outage to prepare users. We are suffering. Consumers' rights associations do not protect us.
Dis que attente vraiment nous Camerounais nous sommes fatigués.
Si pourra nous satisfaire.
We are hoping to have satisfaction with the new management. We don't want intermittent power cuts, receiving funny taxes on our bills, and problems we encounter with prepaid metals. The problems with electricity supply are numerous that some Cameroonians are clouded with pessimistic ideas over changes made at the level of management.
Le changement du directeur.
The change of the general manager only have an influence on the managerial style and not on the technical aspect. If he is fit for the position, then we expect something better. You know, the level of energy transmission in Cameroon is very weak. Either we have persistent power cuts or low voltage. Cameroonians suffer from approximately 10 electrical outages per month, which last an average of 2 hours each, especially when the entire power system, that is, production, transport and distribution segments, are constrained.
Grassroots women in the northwest region of Cameroon have been encouraged to draw inspiration from the success story of Senator Francois Apuni from the west region to surmount challenges on life, or whether married or single. This was during a workshop organized by Senator Mami Nyanga, using herself as an art study. More in the following story.
From a simple puffball seller on the streets to a senator today, Françoise Poine has been sharing her story with women in Bamenda. In a recent 2-day workshop of her organization, Mami Nyanga, Cameroon Women Entrepreneurship, the lawmaker of the upper house of parliament from the West region told over 300 Northwest women that nothing is impossible so far as there is life.
We cannot continue to change this crisis problem without taking care for the women. So it was that we say Mami Nyanga Cameroon Women Entrepreneurship Network can come from Bamenda to empower women to change their life, to support her to make their business. So I'm here only to talking about business.
The women received hands-on training techniques on the production of powder or liquid detergent, the growing of mushrooms, among others.
And from the inspiration of her testimony, who moved from zero to a billionaire, I want to put everything that has been taught today in action so that I also move from the level where I am to a billionaire like her. In short, she is my role model.
In the presence of the Northwest Secretary General representing the governor, Mami Nyanga, as she is fondly called, also installed a 6-man strong bureau to hence manage the affairs of the Maminyanga Cameroon women entrepreneurship in the Northwest region.
A woman can be a farmer. At the same time, a woman can be maybe a producer in wine. A woman can be a producer in oil. It means the women will be entrepreneurs in such a way that they will have different varieties of skills.
Difficult to separate from people of her past life, the senator virtually got drowned in a sea of women dance groups gathered at the Bamenda Pastoral Center.
Plans in sheep business and calling on government to put an end to sporadic sheep business during Tabasco period. Their presence at sea affects still leaving them with them at a disadvantage, even though they are the ones paying the taxes year in year out. To the state reactions regards this June 29 at the Ape Sheep Market at Tinga. More with our reporter.
Despite the high demand by families to buy 1, 2, and even 3 sheep for the Feast of Sacrifice, Tabasco, June 28, these traders say the influx was timid at the sheep area with yam market. Such situation is 2023, as sporadic sheep markets were at the flyover below École de Police, Kansik Chinga, Noverut Bastos, Etsudi, Nguso, the list is long. Sales was not only small, but at low price. We pay all the taxes to the council, but these others come, expose goods on the road, sell and depart. A great loss as all the customers buy by the roadside. Many, it is not their business, but they wait during this feast period to compete with us, a big loss to us.
Donc vraiment, on ne sait pas. Nous, on ne sait pas comment faire.
To make things better and equal for all, they have this proposal. The government should create a space for all to settle. Pay taxes also to the state. It will arrange us all. Or they are all brought to the market so that each and every one make their sales. The traders also use the occasion to talk about their situation at the market, cut off as the collapsed bridge has never been restored for many years now, making the main market different from where animals like sheep are sold.
And that report brings us to the end of this edition of the Prime Time Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. We're coming up next is the brief. We'll leave you from. You'll be back same time tomorrow. Good night.